Yeah, I'll begin shortly. We're just waiting for a few more minutes so that everybody can join. Okay, thanks everybody for joining in. So just maybe chat, maybe one do something on the chat panel so that I know you guys can hear me all right. That's good. Yeah, and also it would be great if you guys can give a little bit background about like uh, what you're looking out of this webinar or what basically motivated you or exactly what you're looking out. Are you looking for a career change or you are hunting for a job or you're just landed immigrant in Canada? So it of course everybody has a different perspective and it will help us to create maybe different questions and also craft according to the need. So launched a quick poll if yeah, IT management. Okay, so that's pretty good to know. And I just launched a poll so you guys can put on this one as well. So basically this webinar is mostly designed for people who are basically newcomers as per this particular series, right? It's a job hunting strategy for newcomers and pretty much the strategy that I had to face through when I came many years ago here. And what I realized, the challenges remain the same. It's just not that the time has changed, but the challenge remains the same. Doesn't matter what time you move and what I went through and what strategies I applied, and that's what the some of the points are here. So just quick uptake in the market, like what is going on. So you can see the job market layout. So the source of I took from Indeed, and you can see pretty much if you are talking about entry level job, there are like this is a basically you can say maintenance worker, packaging, front desk, different kind of job, automation technician. So this is shows you a average how much either on an hourly basis or a yearly basis. So someone said project manager, you can see on an average project manager salary is around $80,000, and pretty much everything else has been mentioned in hourly rate. Let's take a look into the technology market. So tech market, you can see pretty much top of the list is of course is the DevOps one, which is on an average when you're talking about 108 a salary, and you can see it can go as high as up to 200K as well. Similar applies to data scientists. You can see the average salary is a bit around 80,000. It can go as higher as 170. QA engineer, a little bit lesser range. You can go up to 141, and data analytics, you can say from $20 to 20,000 to 100K. So depending on which type of skill set or career you want to pursue, you can see you can actually hit the median salary pretty easily. And of course, there are, in every profession, there are entry level, there are like experienced profession. So you have to consider your expectation accordingly. So today's topic, so what we'll do, we'll check a current technology landscape, like what technology trends we have, local job market, and what challenges are faced by newcomers. And also we'll take a deep dive into the newcomer skill set and what are the hard job skills and how to achieve those one. So uh, if I'm to talk about what is a Canadian job market, so Canadian job market is if people are new in Canada, possibly I'm not sure how they must know about the history or the economy of the Canada. It has been a traditionally blue collar heaven for a lot of people, and people have immigrated from say India or anywhere across the world, and heavily involved in transportation industry, and they had made a fortune out of it. And still it continued to be the very lucrative business for that. If you're a handyman or a woman, if you are a transportation truck driver, it is a gold mine. You can get, there is always shortage of truck drivers and people are looking for it. And Canada has always been like that country. It has always been this is called as a lumber country. They have been selling lumbers to mostly US, and then lumber changed to oil, and now they're selling oil and also a lot of resources like uranium. So it's a very resource rich country, and when it in any such kind of economy, you need a lot of people to move those resources from point A to point B, and that has been a predominantly the case. And if you go to about like apart from Ontario, even Ontario, like if you go to northern or Quebec, you have a lot of big oil, gas, and Alberta is pretty much is a world famous in oil production. And skill heavy jobs, when I say, is again, it's a blue collar. Like if you are a construction worker, if you are a mechanic, it is a lot of opportunities here. And that is what, because when you are moving large part of lumbers and everything, you need a lot of trucks, a lot of goods. And of course, if you have a lot of trucks, a lot of trucks will break down, you have to need someone to fix. So that is what. And people who wants to live there, of course, you will be building house for them. People live in the house, you will be fixing their plumbing. So it's a lot of job in that particular thing. And recent trend have been seen as, of course, as the economy prosper and grows and people start heavily on a university-based education, and it start moving towards service-based economy, and which is a service-based economy means you're talking about a lot of service sector like a bar, restaurants, hotel, technology. This all comes under service. And the most important thing that a lot of people come from US is Canada is no US. Why I mean that? Like Canada has only a handful of large cities like Toronto, Montreal, Ottawa, Vancouver, Calgary. That's it. Finish. It's not like in US you have like a major cities. Like in the state of New York itself, you have a bunch of cities apart from New York. Then in New York, you have a New Jersey, and pretty much every state, almost 50, like 50 states they have. And every state is as big as Canada in terms of economy. Not all, but many. And so the opportunities are not that many as it is in US. So it is of course, Canada is a large bigger country than US in terms of geographical space, but most part of the country is in hospital. You cannot live there. So pretty much 100 200 kilometers border of the US, it is the vast majority of the people live, and that is where the everything is there. So accordingly that, so it you don't have that much flexibility as you have in US. So newcomer common profile that I have seen mostly is a managerial experience. Why I say managerial experience? For example, you are working in a, say India, in an IT company, say you're working in a Tata consultancy, Accenture, anywhere. You do 1 or 2 years of work, developer, then you become team lead. And after 3 years, you become project manager, and then you become managers of manager. And what happens after 10 to 15 years of experience, you actually, on the paper you have a 15 years of IT experience, but actually you have never done any development. Last time you actually touched your laptop not to send an email, to write a code, was 15 years ago. And that time those technologies are all gone, all dead. So vast majority of the experience people have, it is mostly on the legacy technology, and either people are trying to phase out those technology, or those technology jobs are already being outsourced to India, Philippines, and all Asian countries where labor cost is very low. So it's and now I want to give you an analogy. Like for example, you have a car, right? You have a 20-year-old car, and and there is something broken in the car. Would you go, and when you go to replace the part of the car, assume you are trying to change the, say, gearbox, and there are two options for the gearbox. One gearbox costs $1,000, one gearbox costs $100. Would you put $1,000 gearbox on your 20-year-old car, which is going to die anytime, or you will just put $100 gearbox and just see how long it goes, and maybe you will change it again every 2 3 years, and one day the car will break down, I'll just throw the car. Same applies to technology. If there is a dead, old, dying technology, why someone would hire a highly expensive North American resource if they can find the same or better resource in $25 in India or somewhere, right? So that is same thing. So when it comes to legacy technology, businesses are not willing to invest money into that. That is why the legacy technology outsourcing business booms like anything. They want to move as far as possible to the offshore. Even large companies, IBM, everybody, they are just getting rid of all their legacy products, selling it to all third party consulting company. Just take care of it, manage it. We don't want to take this headache. Why? Because nobody wants to invest. It's the same thing. If it's a new car, of course I will buy $1,000 one, but for old car I don't want to. So that's why they want to reduce exposure. And this is explains why there is a lack of demand for these kind of jobs, managerial or legacy technology, because you don't need them, or maybe it's better to offshore them rather than paying heavy salary here. Lack of local experience is a big thing, because of course, even though you're talking about in technology as a developer, maybe your experience is global, but other part of the economy you need to have a little bit local experience. For example, someone assume someone is a salesperson, and he or she has a sales experience for like 15 20 years. But what if you have worked in a sales, sales is all about making personal connection. How do you know the market, how you can actually navigate through the channel and convert a deal. And say you come from India to here, and guess what, you don't know anything anymore, because this is a different economy, different way people work, interact, and pretty much whatever you knew is just gone. And plus you have zero connections here. So if you are starting a sales job, you have to start from the bottom up. So basically, around mostly sales job, they have $30,000 salary and plus commission. That is how the pretty much it works. And I know a lot of my friends, they have came as a sales and they have become very successful later on, but they a lot of time they switch their career. Some people actually switch to technology, some people switch to recruitment. It just goes on and on. So, and of course, some people did succeed in sales as well. So it is all case by case basis. But what I want to say here is that if you don't have local experience, try to get some internship or anything like that to get you into the market, and then you figure out. And plus be flexible for change. And last thing not the least is the lack of marketing skills, because right now the job searching is all about marketing skills. Nobody really cares what you did 15 20 years experience. People care about what you can do for the organization, what value you are bringing in, because you are asking a certain amount of salary. And for a business, if someone say I want 100K salary, okay, that's fine, no problem. Are you bringing a value of at least $1 million? That is the whole question. If you're not bringing that much value, because any employer looking to at least a 10x of return from an employee, right? Otherwise, why someone would invest on that? So I'm not saying like $1 million value. Even if you can justify with your experience and knowledge that okay, I can bring up to 200K of a value, then also employer might consider, because at least he or she is getting 100% return. So these quite things, you have to be very efficient in marketing. We use social media, especially LinkedIn and Indeed, to polish your profile, and also your how you present yourself. So GTA top jobs, if I want to say, so of course the number one job remains construction and transportation. Nobody beats this money. It's just you can go anywhere in the suburb, you can see the biggest and the richest people are actually construction workers and truck drivers, or eventually they end up buying trucks. Logistic warehouse jobs, it is like a red hot right now. Pretty much all bar and restaurant jobs have disappeared because of COVID, and all is left with the Amazon is hiring like anything, Walmart is hiring like anything, all warehouse jobs, because they have built massive warehouses and they need people to work on that. So these are two areas of the major. Second, of course, third is the technology and data jobs, which is pretty much everybody's, I will say, this is a high paying job. And of course, there is a difficulty in entry into this job also. Again, for a logistic and warehouse, pretty much you don't need anything. They don't even need resume. You just fill up application and come, and that's it. And that is how Amazon hires. And construction and transportation, you just need a driving license, you're done. And but technology data is more than that. You need to have some kind of a experience, knowledge, and plus interest in technology, not just okay, I want to do technology. You need to have interest, otherwise you won't be successful. And some managerial jobs are there specifically on the soft side, for example, project management in the technologies field. And I will maybe, if you have any question, please feel free to type on the Q&A section, and or anytime let me know if you what you think. So take a quick look on the GTA service sector. So GTA service sector heavily is by financial hub. So Toronto is a financial hub of Canada. You have a very strong financial industry, a lot of banks, with large insurance companies, and a lot of startup companies. So that is a pretty much, it is fueling the whole demand for all technology jobs. And you must have seen a lot of article because of the immigration issues in US and relaxed easy immigration policy in Canada. Toronto has become like a hot melting point of all tech workers. So people have migrated here like anything from US, from India, from all across the world, and it has become the one of the fastest growing tech job sector in the world. Actually, it almost beat San Francisco, New York City, Seattle, everything. So it's very hot market in that perspective. So let's talk about some of the hot white collar jobs. So when I talk about white collar job, means a job which doesn't require very physical labor. So those are white collar job, and blue collar job you can classify as a like a construction working or a logistic or a transportation. So hot white collar jobs are predominantly technology jobs, as I say, software development, cloud engineer, and all this thing. Data jobs, you have a data analyst, data scientist, and data engineer. Business and management is always hot. If you know about good information about business, then it is a very good thing for you. And if you are a good manager, and there is always demand for that. And a lot of time they have a lot of offshore team. They sometimes they want someone to manage, but oftentimes I've seen those companies, they bring someone from offshore to manage their offshore team because they know those people, how they work. And that is one thing. And today what is going on with the COVID specifically, pretty much all job now needs technology. You have to have some or other form of understanding of technology in order to succeed in this market. So this is a very important factor here. So I will take a pause here for maybe 10 seconds and wait for anybody's question. Okay, so next step is basically looking at the hottest job right now, specifically the tech job. Yeah, we are getting some questions here regarding that. So they're saying, do you see the demand with different size tech companies or mostly startup companies? So pretty much demand is all across. It is just a big, small startup, everybody. Even with COVID, I haven't seen anything. Demand is waning for specifically for tech companies. For example, if you just on LinkedIn just enable you are open for work on a specific technology, you'll be bombarded with requests from recruiters. And of course, you have to be qualified, right, for exactly what they're looking for. You cannot just put bunch of keyword and buzzword and you expect that you will get the job, because what happens is during the resume review process, if people realize the the experience is not consistent with what is the requirement, you may not get the second call. And second thing is going to the interview. And nowadays, in specifically for technology interview, they put a kind of an online test, hacker rank test. You have to pass that test, and then only they take you for the technical round, because hiring manager, they don't have time, right? Everybody's busy, so they don't want to basically have interview hundreds of people and realizing that nobody's eligible for the position. So this is a very efficient way of shortlisting candidates. So of course, first round is the resume shortlisting, and then you have the technology. If someone can't write a code or something, then of course they are not going ahead. And then step forward is actually face-to-face multiple rounds of interview, of course, in Zoom. So here are the hot job roles in the tech job. I'll say cloud computing and DevOps is the one of the hottest, without any doubt. And then of course, I see a lot of requirement going for QA test automation, because as your infrastructure and also your softwares are getting more and more complex, you don't need any more manual testing, because manual testing doesn't work anymore with that kind of complex system. You need to have someone who understands the test automation, and that requires some software development skills. Data analyst, data science is one of the hottest thing, and of course data engineer, which is a mostly software developer job. So these are pretty hot as well. And business analyst is always the evergreen field, and of course you need to know different businesses, and some of the certification like CBAP could be good. And project management, PMP, Scrum. But I would say project management is more generalistic, because getting the effort to get a Scrum or a PMP certification is not too much. Like anybody can do that as long as they have any kind of a basic education background. For example, if you want to be Scrum Master, it's just you have to spend a weekend and you can get the Scrum certification. So if some certification has a very low entry cost and low challenging, so a lot of people like to get it. It's very good certification by all means. But remember one thing, certification doesn't guarantee any job. You need to have a credential experience and ability to go for an interview and show employer that you are here to solve their problem. So, for example, if if you want to become let's say, start a career as a cloud or DevOps engineer, so I will say follow this criteria. Basically, you should have some basic engineering skill, which I call IT fundamentals, Linux fundamentals, and cloud basics. So these are, I will say, the base stack you build on them. And then you go forward, learn at least one automation language. I will say the Ansible, Python, Bash, anything like that. And having some kind of certificate helps if you have no experience at all. If you have zero experience, then you should have some certification. And specifically, if you're not from STEM background, it adds up really value. And last but not the least, I say do some kind of internship on a live project. Like, don't do an internship just sake of it. The internship should involve a demanding from your side, and you should see a project which actually has a commercial viability, a commercial success, or there is a market. If you find any kind of project, just go ahead. Even if it is free, you should do the internship. But again, don't do internship just because it is free and you waste 3 months of time, gain nothing. So whenever you do the internship, always ask 3 questions. Is it aligned with my career goal? Second, is this internship is challenging enough for me that it pushes me to the limits? And third, does the mentor of the internship has a vested interest in your success? If any of the answer is no, please don't do it. Don't waste your time in such internship, because it won't land you a job. Because if you do all these things, you will land a job for sure. And this is the second one, is journey to become a data scientist. If you want to become data scientist, of course, first you need to be very good with basic statistical concepts and an ability to apply those statistical concepts into real business. So that is the process. If anybody can do that, those people are called data scientists. So you need math stats background, getting concept around a little bit on machine learning, Of course, learning Python has become like a mandatory, learning some associated libraries. And last but not least, the project. And the project concept applies the same I just talked in the last slide, the three things. If any of those three answer is no, please don't do that. Then get a core understanding. These are like a business analyst, BA, so core understanding of the business, build up good credential with a blog and discussion, and of course, getting a certification. These are some of the key factors if you are looking into get into BA role. And but remember, BA role is a very competitive role, and there are a lot of people out there. But good BAs are always in demand. So again, this is PMP. Of course, for PMP, first thing you need to get a certification. You have to be PMP certified, and PMP and CSM both you need to have that to even start the game. And then basically, of course, the process of getting PMP. First, you get a required PDU and write the PMP exam from PMI, and then get the cert. So these things, I will say, the base things before you can actually do that, the PMP thing. And this is pretty much, I just put a last thing about the data analyst. So data analysis is basically right now, most important thing is that you should know, like, of course, Excel, SQL, Python, R, and some or other form of cloud is definitely helpful for anybody, any data analyst. So yeah, so I think these are the things I think I had to cover today, and I will open the floor for question. So I see at our internship, yes, we have actual clients as well. Yes, we have those kind of projects. So I'll wait for any question anybody has. Okay, I'll give you maybe 1 minute. If anybody has, please feel free to ask question. I'll be around. And if you guys know more question, we can close it maybe at 3 to 4 minutes from now. And let me know. I'll wait for your question. And anybody new to this, you can actually check our meetup group over there. We conduct pretty much weekly multiple webinars, and webinar includes a lot of free training available. And also tomorrow we have a webinar at noon. It's basically journey to become a DevOps. It's basically a very detailed webinar where we explain with examples like what things you need to do in order to do the DevOps job. And basically, of course, we talk about the program as well. And let me see some more questions. Sorry, is the event. I want to know about networking, landing a job with no experience. Yeah. So actually, for networking, actually exactly this thing. If you have time, the pretty much I covered in the webinar like various aspect of it, and specifically on landing a job with no experience, that we're going to explain it tomorrow's webinar, which is at noon. It is called Journey to Become a DevOps Engineer. There where I explain these things. And yeah, sure. And what is the hardest part of changing career or changing into tech? So hardest part of the, I think, career is that I will say your determination, how determined you are and how much you are ready to put in. I think if you have decided you want to start a tech career, I think you can do that. I can say as with very confidence. And so it's just that determination and be consistent. These are the key factor of your success if you really want to start a tech career. So like answering to the next question, someone asked about, they want to know more about what we do. And let me share the screen. I hope you guys can see the screen right now. So yeah, about like our offerings. So basically, we help a lot of people get into tech, DevOps, and cloud space. So these are some of our past students, their reviews. You can check all reviews on LinkedIn. We have pretty much that's what from all past webinars that we conducted, boot camps, and so basically, that program we have is called Journey to Become a Tech or a DevOps Engineer. This specifically focused on heavily on active learning, the kind of learning that we perfect and we know it works and it has shown tremendous amount of result. So in that, what we do basically, the traditional way of learning is about, say, I give you a lecture, you go back and you do something. But how the active learning works is that, of course, we provide you some like a theory concepts, and then we throw you into project, like a small, very micro project. No, I won't throw you a big project. Of course, you won't understand what to do, but we will take a big problem and break into smaller pieces and throw each and a problem every day to you. And we have a daily Q&A session. On that, we show, okay, tell me what you tried, and we want to see your approach, what you tried, what did you do, and then we help you with that. So during that active learning process where you try something, learn, try and learn, what I've seen that it has provided better result. People don't forget what they do, because once you have done something on your own by your own hand, you will never forget it. On the other hand, if you have just memorized and mug it up or watch some videos like a Netflix show you are doing with the training, I've seen people pretty much forget next day. I mean, even right now, what I'm talking about it, I think 90% of the things you guys will forget if I ask 5 minutes later. So basically, what we do, our program is specifically designed backward way. Backward way means we didn't create the syllabus. What we go to the job market and we see what people need right now in the market, and backward we build our training course. So training course is basically designed towards like a tech landscape. So these when anybody talk about tech job, they see, okay, I want to be system admin, QA. No, we are trying to make people to land any of these jobs, because our training is very active learning base, and it makes you very versatile engineer who can solve a business problem rather than writing some hello world program. And I think that is what I elaborate more on tomorrow's webinar, where we heavily focus on the mistakes to avoid when transitioning into tech. Of course, this webinar, it was not for the tech, and someone asked question, that's what I'm showing. But in the tomorrow webinar, if you join, it has more detail about what mistakes to avoid and what exactly employer is looking for if someone is hiring a tech. See, I am in a tech industry for 15-20 years now. I have applied for hundreds of jobs, and I've hired a lot of people, and I've sit both sides of the table and know what it takes. So our is pretty much goes like a very intensive program, which is basically you join the program 3 to 6 months. So the whole program is around 3 to 6 months, and we expect you to be committed to that. You can do a full time or a part time. If you do full time, you see quick result. If you do part time, of course, depending on how much effort you pay. So for people who have absolutely no experience, we target 640 to 60K of salary, and for people who are senior, we target the higher range of salary. So our phase-wise approach is like a training, internship, and placement phase. So we call it like a journey to become a tech or it's basically multi-factored thing. So of course, join the program intensive, solve the business problem, and then you get basically land the job. That is what we do. So this is basically a recent survey done by, it's a lot of CIO. I think 500 CIOs, they did survey. It's on by a Canadian, I think, agency, and they find out that pretty much 84% of the people responded that they in next 5 to 10 years, the most disruptive thing they think is a data, cloud, IoT, and all these things. So, and majority of the thing people see, the cloud skill will have the most amount of impact in your career going for next 5 years. It is a pretty strong statement, right? So for that particular purpose, so this is how we build the program in a backward way. That, for example, this is pretty very flexible. It's a very flexible program that we have. It is basically uh, it's very specifically on like we have 3 to 6 months part-time, full-time. We have a daily Q&A session every day. and where we basically, that is what the active learning is. We have our online library. You go there, you watch some videos, you understand something. If you don't understand something, that is what we come and help you to do that job. And the internship is designed in a very specific way that we support you till you receive a position. And of course, we expect you to graduate from the program. It's not like that you come in the Q&A one day, next day you don't show up, and third day you come, and after 1 month you come, then you are not getting a result. And we are here for a serious business. And if we see someone is not very committed, we just kick them out. We kick them out from the program. Whatever the money you had, like you don't deserve, like we don't want, we can refund the money and we just kick you out, because we don't want people just hanging around in the program and wasting everybody's time. We value our time, and we expect you to value your time as well. So we only looking for 100% committed people, because we also do some kind of contracting projects, and where we expecting maybe some resources to be hired. And of course, we sometimes we like to leverage our students. And if you see some student, they are not serious about this thing, so of course we don't have time. So that is pretty much. And the internship that we focus, it is heavily on the life project that you will be doing. And someone says like, yes, we do on a DevOps and a data as well, both side of the program. And yeah. Yeah, I think same thing. I mean, I did my engineering degree actually. Uh, yeah, I did on electronics and communication, and 4 years, I don't know what I was doing. The industry had nothing to do with whatever. I think 4 years and a lot of money you wasted. Yes, program does offer networking opportunity. We have a very popular program you guys have seen. Is a we do a lot of training for recruiters, and we have a very good network of recruiters. And of course, and when we have a right candidate, we do market their CV to land them job and land the interview. Yeah, I think we have seen the best case scenario is 3 months, and if you take a little bit of time, 6 months. So that's why we say 3 to 6 months, depending upon your speed. So depending on which course you want to join the Journey to Tech or Journey to DevOps, because Journey to Tech is for someone absolutely zero who has never worked in a technology field. It is a little bit different syllabus than compared to a Journey to DevOps, which also can be designed for absolutely beginner, but we expect some IT knowledge. And if you want to do Journey to DevOps, it is around, it will take around 6 months, 3 to 6 months. So yeah, I think basically, I think the whole detailed webinar is actually tomorrow. I was not prepared for this thing. I'm just answering your question, and I will send you the link about the basically previous recording. You can go over it. And this is what pretty much about it. Yeah, thank you so much. And yeah, so any other question? Of course, I will share with you this video, and I have the more detailed video that we'll have tomorrow. I will invite you guys to join. You go to the meetup link, and you can find that particular one. And let me send you the link for tomorrow's meetup. This will be at noon, and I see a lot of people can, even if you're working, you can always take a lunch break and go. I will say RSVP to this one, and it's again Zoom, and tomorrow we'll see you there. Anybody has any other question? Because of course I want to cover, but I was not prepared for this. I didn't expect anybody will ask about this particular program. And yes, we do provide placement service. So basically, it's a full program: training, internship, and placement. And it is but again, it is only for serious people who are 100% serious. We are not here to waste anybody's time. Okay, if you guys have no more question, then I think I'm good. And thank you for attending the webinar today, and see you tomorrow. Okay. Okay, thank you.